Welcome back to episode 5 of Restoring My Massey Steam Hammer. You could say this is season 2, episode 5. In the last episode, we got the whole top of the hammer off, discovered that the existing bolts were completely knackered, need replacing, and I forged up these monstrous square-headed bolts, and they need to go in the lathe for some turning. And of course, again, we're joined by Will, who's helping us make this all happen. So let's get to it. First step of the day is we need to get the forge jaw that we painstakingly put on in the last episode off. Down we go, we got it. I'm gonna come back over here. Ah! .34. 30.34. We need 27. That's hopefully going to be our final diameter. Now, how am I going to do the bloomin' rest? I think I'm going to flip it around, use a 3-jaw to put a rough center in, then put it in a 4-jaw to then turn it down, held on the square. Time to put the 4-jaw back on.
3 minutes later.
Literally, yeah, 7 minutes. 7 minutes since taking it off.
Reminds me of that old nursery rhyme.
What's that?
What a waste of time, do-da.
The good thing is we're getting a lot of practice on putting on and taking off the 4-jaw. Brother, you remember how long that took us last week? That actually makes me quite happy to have had to do this whole rigmarole, because of just how good we're gonna get. So now I'm opening up the jaws, having gripped it on the rough shank, for us to now grip it on the rough head, but hopefully be able to indicate off those 2 turn components of the shank to be in the right spot. Just like that. It's now time to cut some threads, and unfortunately, it's been a minute since I've done it. So I'm trying to make this thread. It is a M27 thread with a 3mm pitch. That means each little tooth is 3mm away from the next. Now, how do we reliably make that happen? The gearbox inside the lathe is tied to a lead screw. So when the spindle spins, the lead screw does also, and it'll spin at a rate that is relative to the chuck and can be adjusted here in these settings. Almost every lathe will have these little thread cutting tables telling you where you need to turn the different dials to achieve what thread. I had to plug in BT6W, BT6W.
Hold it. Run that back. I enhance the detail and stop.
And that means when we engage and connect this carriage to that lead screw, every time the chuck turns, this lead screw is going to pull that carriage across exactly 3mm. And so long as we stay attached to that lead screw, or lock ourselves in at the right moment on this dial, our tool will hopefully stay connected to the thread, because it is going to be all sorts of delightful problem if it doesn't. This is the tool that we're going to cut the threads with. It's got a 60-degree point on it. But right now, I'm actually just going to make a little recessed groove here to make a landing zone, which will make things a little bit easier for me. This will also make a very convenient stress concentration for the bolt to snap right there if it ever does. You go in. See if I can still remember how to do this. Pretty close. Nope, that's not good. That's not good either. That's not where it needs to be. All right, do some cutting, shall we? Moment of truth. Oh, will it thread? Theoretically, I'm a couple thousandths of an inch away from being at the bottom, but no, need to take off a little bit more. Ooh, a little bit more. A bit too close for us.
so close.
What is wrong with you? Why don't you fit in there? What? That says 3, but why is it not 3? Uh-oh, why is it not 3? BT6W, BTW, oh, I've got it on BT3W. I think I might have just looked at that from afar and thought it read 6, but unfortunately it's quite clearly 3. Righto, gonna have to forge another bolt up. You know what they say, Jamie? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. This bolt might not be of use to me, but what if it's of use to somebody else? What if I could take this 27mm, 2.5mm pitch bolt and turn it into cold, hard cash? Add new product, physical, take photo, snap. Description. This bolt won't thread any conventional sizes of nut. Stock bolt is 30, we'll sell our custom one for 60. You can do the honors and hit save. That's now on my Squarespace website. They're, of course, today's sponsor. If you want to build a website, go to squarespace.com/forge to get a 2-week free trial. Code FORGE at checkout gets you 10% off your purchases. And of course, that includes your domain purchase, because the great thing about Squarespace is it's an all-in-one platform. You can buy your domain there. There'll be no plugins, patches, or upgrades ever. And however you want to change your website as your business evolves, however you want to adapt to the marketplace, you can do it with Squarespace. They've got all manner of templates to help you build product pages, about pages, contact forms, and more. You can sell physical or digital products, sell your time with Squarespace scheduling, and for custom work, you can even run your invoices through Squarespace. Keep everything in one place, because at the end of the day, if you've got a workshop, your key skill is making stuff. It's not doing the admin. So investing in a platform like Squarespace to keep it all in one spot and as hassle-free as possible is hopefully going to pay great dividends. Again, please go to squarespace.com/forge. Free trial, code FORGE at checkout gets you 10% off your purchase and helps them know that we told you how great the platform is. Let's get back to it. Ta-da! True Alec Steele fashion. Oh, I just referred to myself in the third person. I have woefully underestimated how much time making these bolts was gonna take. But there we go, bolt 1 is off the lathe. Little touch up with a grinder to clean up these little edges here, and hopefully, I guess we can do a test fit now. Yeah, boy! That's gonna work a treat. 1 down, 3 to go. Stopwatch initiated. 38 minutes flat to do all that turning and threading. I'm pretty chuffed. It's now the next morning. Have a look at this thing that's turned up. Do you know what that is, Jamie?
A rectal thermometer?
Not quite. This is an inside micrometer.
All close.
You screw together these bits of tube and the different ends, which then means that you can add 13mm plus 100mm plus 50mm for the actual turning micrometer part, etc., etc. 2 weeks ago, when we found out that we had a broken piston ring, I needed to start investigating how we're going to solve that. And the 2 options are, well, the 3 options are, 1, we can order a custom-made piston ring, which is going to take 6 weeks. 2, somebody might have a piston ring of this size on the shelf, and then it'll cost like 100 quid, and we can get it in a few days. And the 3rd option is I buy some centrifugally cast iron in order to make the piston rings myself. In order to do any of these things, I need to have an accurate measurement of the inside of our cylinder bore, because piston rings, they're all about precision. And I've just... Are you falling over? Jamie, you know you're getting old if you can't kneel down without falling over.
Just balance.
Oh yeah, I think your knees have gone crunchy. But anyway, I just spent about half an hour plotting measurements inside it. Very difficult to do. You know, if you were to measure from here across to here by accident, you'd have a much shorter reading than the actual reading that is going to be dead plumb in the middle. And same thing applies not only in this axis of movement, but also front to back. So it's pretty hard to do, but I think I got the technique down. Wiggle it around. Make sure the only way it can move with a little bit of stiction is in this direction, not in that direction. And side to side in the bore, like this. Top, middle, top, bottom. We've got 168.326, 0.282, 0.325, 0.325. So I got 1 reading that made the middle look a little bit smaller, but 3 other very consistent readings, top to bottom. I then also took measurements with the inside micrometer in the upright position, and quite consistently they appeared to be larger, 168.438, 0.418, 0.389. So it would appear that that cylinder is ovalized and is larger in diameter top to bottom than it is left to right. And that's by about 100 microns, 0.1 of a millimeter, or about 4/1000ths of an inch, which is actually quite a significant deviation from when it would have originally been manufactured. I'm sure it would have been a lot closer than that, and it shows that the way that that piston runs up and down in there has worn it into an oval over time. But a measurement from just this might not be enough to do the trick. What if I assembled these things wrong? They're not quite there. We're now going to verify by taking this shiny, expensive fella. This is an outside micrometer. I obviously can't fit that inside of the bore, but what I can do is take what's called the standard, which is supplied with it, which should be exactly 150 millimeters. Fit that between the faces. Oh my goodness, I got some shaky hand, don't I? Just touches on the ends, and it reads 0 on the dial. But I want to go ahead and wind this open. Last reading we got here was 168.389. Are we also going to read 168.389 here? Gentle ratchet. There we go, that'll do. Out she pops. The inside micrometer reads 168.389-ish. Outside micrometer is reading 168.375. That's 14 microns, or 5/10,000ths of an inch difference between them. And considering the ovalness of that bore, means that I'm going to be close enough to give these measurements to the piston ring people. And with that, it's time to straighten out the one bent bolt I found, reforge a new bolt to replace the one that I accidentally put the wrong pitch of thread on, and then get back in the lathe for some more threading. Right, I'm 20 minutes into this bolt right here, and it is now time to begin the threading. And there is something new that I want to try. And by new, I mean it's a relatively industry standard practice. So what I have been doing is I've been feeding the tool straight in like this, which, as you're taking very hefty cuts, exposes both sides of the cutting edge to quite significant force. There's a lot of surface area here. The alternate method is, instead of feeding in this direction, to feed about 30 degrees off to the side. The point of the tool, however, stays perpendicular to the work surface. So it's just feed direction that's 30 degrees off to the side, which means at the beginning of the cut, there is a little bit of contact on both left and right edges of the tool. But then, as we go deep, the contact is only on the left-hand side of the tool, as the point is making the clearance for the right side of the tool. Half the tool pressure. I've heard people talk about threading using compound in feed at 30 degrees, technically 29.5 degrees. But it's only been in the last few days that I fully understand it after rewatching some more A-Bomb 79 videos, Adam Booth, great YouTube channel if you want to nerd out on machining like me. I think I finally understood it enough to try. New 29.5. Loosen this. Oh, hello. Make the tool perpendicular to the spindle, snug it, and then indicate it. So instead of going in with this, once we're cutting the threads, we're going to go in with that. Conveniently, however, while the rest of the lathe is metric, my head is currently tuned for metric, this thread is metric, this dial is imperial. That's a good one. Nice joke. You got me. Let's go ahead and zero this here. So I bring the dial to 0.
That's a surprise.
I know, it's a creative idea, isn't it?
Especially with Imperial, you'd think that 0 was like 2.5 or something daft like that, wouldn't you?
Skim pass, we're going to make sure we got the right pitch. Reverse it back. 3.6 divided by 25.4 equals 0.142. So that's 0. Take a 30 thou depth of cut, and here we go. Back past 0, reverse. Woo! It's always fun to try new things. I was at 30, go down to 70 thou. It looks very different, and I'm scared. Oh, I didn't check the pitch, did I? Well, it might work. Let's hope so. Deeper! It definitely feels easier on the machine. I think I'm seeing the difference. Will the thread be nice, though? Ooh. Looks a bit rippy. Especially on this side, it's like chewing bits out of it. I don't like the look of that so much. I think I now might return to a little bit of regular feed. Okay, that cut was done on the cross slide, and that's helping clean it up a little bit. All right, let's test it. Ooh, Betsy. I'll take that. That's pretty good. But I only used our special technique for like half of it. This is the issue I ran into. First couple of cuts were lovely, but as we got up to about halfway thread depth, this face was fabulous, but this right-hand face of the thread was like ripping and wasn't making clean cuts at all. It was all like chewed out and ripped. When that happened, I switched from feeding from our 30-degree compound to feeding with our cross slide again, which allowed me to push the tool straight in, getting the right-hand side of the cut engaging, cleaning up the chewed up material until we reached our final thread depth. I think I've got to learn more about this. Let me know if you're a thread cutting whiz. What do I need to do? What's going wrong? Could it just be a material thing that's making those cuts get rippy? We're at 29.5 degrees, 200 RPM. I think it was like 20 thou, 30 thou, 30 thou depth of cut. That bolt's done. It's now time for the final one. And while I clearly don't know all there is to know about thread cutting, I've at last found a pretty efficient order of operations for doing the rest of the turning of these forged bolts, and mostly for my sake, I'm going to tell you what that is. Step 1, bolt goes in without touching the indicator to it, begin getting it to run true. Pretty close for a forged surface. Face the end, out you come, in you go. A little bit of center drilling, out you come, back in you go, off you go. Open the jaws. A little bit of sandpaper. Get it close with the indicator near the shank. Back out the live center. Make sure it's running true there. Bit high. God, that's the closest one yet, right out of the chuck. Double check my daylight over here. Take my first millimeter off. Set the DRO. Second heavy cut. Quick measure before the finishing pass. Gonna be down to size after this. Bang on. Rough inner radius here. Facing cut on the bolt head. Change the tool. Clean this up. Make my landing zone. In with the thread tool, a little bit of blue, 40 thou. That might be a bit much. It's that crunchy cutting on the right-hand face. Switching to the cross slide. Oh yes! We just got to cut them down to length and get them in. Oh shoot, no. I got so excited. What? No, I've got to do the little bit of machiney grindy bits on the things. All right, we've got bolts. We've got nuts. Admittedly not handmade nuts, but these nuts will have to do. The bolts I made are all too long, as you can tell.
Overcompensating there.
Yes. Well, it's a funny thing, actually. I was nervous to make them the right length. I seem to be perfectly capable of now, as we can, apart from the one mistake, turning something to a known diameter and turning a thread on it and, forging something out. But for some reason, the idea of measuring how long they needed to be and committing to that in the design process and committing to that in the turning process seemed too daunting to me.
Well, you know the good thing about you actually finishing these?
What's that?
It means we can actually mount the frame back together.
Exactly. But we should cut them to length first. Here we are, we have to cut them to length with an angle grinder. Thankfully, we know which one is the best angle grinder.
We definitely do. And a bit of an interesting thing, cleaning some of these bolts up, we have found on one of them has got the original stamp marks for the actual hammer. So
serialized to the hammer.
Serialized bolts to the hammer.
That means that in Manchester in 1915, potentially even in the Massey works, given the fact that it's got the serial number stamped in, it's possible that they literally forged those bolts in the Massey work and they weren't even bought in. It was much the same as what we're doing here.
Yeah, it would have been. They would have been forged for this hammer, serialized for this hammer, because you got to think how many different sizes of hammers they made. That would only fit the small hammer. So that had to be made for that exact particular hammer.
It's also got numbers stamped on the bottom. Look, this one is numbered 3 because what they would have done is they would have numbered the bolt for the location. These would have been numbered, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that, it's stamped number 2. Given that they're not fitted holes, this is an attention to detail, stamping these. It's really not that necessary because it's only just 2 different sizes of bolts. You'll just be able to look at them and go like, oh yeah, that goes in the front, that goes in the back. But they still went to the effort of stamping them, serializing them. I think before I cut these to length, stamp them and serialize them. Ah, my bloomin' finger! 2026. All numbered, serialized, dated, and touch marked. Just gotta cut them to length. 100 mil, 80 mil, 40, 100. Get everything nice and oiled up. All right. It's time. Put it back together.
All being well, we will be the last people in this room for 100 years to possibly see this base and to see this be taken off that. If we've done our job properly, for another 100 years, this shouldn't have to come off.
That's what we want. How sick would that be? Is that touchdown? All right, bolts.
I'd hate to make you big-headed, Alec, but that's a perfect fit.
Right. Super job. All right, next one. Oh, there we go. I've got him. Oh, look at them threads, son. Good one.
There he goes. Ram it till you find it.
Just hang on there. I have to go get a cup of tea.
Off.
We snug the nuts up, but again, this axle for the linkage is now stiff. Similar problem that we had in the first episode. So we're gonna twist the frame around until it's good and then nail the old ooga-dooga, lock it down for good. How's that?
That feels better, it's a lot bit looser. Here we go. Crack.
Imagine my bolts just break under like average torque loads. Oh, it's smooth as butter now. That's brilliant. There we go.
Well, it's going back together.
Will, I'll let you do the honors. Strip nut, crossed off.
What you haven't been seeing, whilst Alec's been doing the machining, I've been fitting the exhaust on the wall. So I'll say about half, because it's not fully done. Yeah.
Got a little bit of regular duct work. Now remember, this is low pressure, and it'll then hopefully catch all the oil in that bucket. Really nice work, Will. Thank you, mate.
No worries.
Now, the next obstacles we've got to tackle are, of course, boring out our piston valve, making a brand new piston valve and piston rod to fit that size, either making or getting a new piston ring. There's plenty more to come. The can of worms just keeps going. Thank you for being here. Be sure to build a website at squarespace.com/forge. We appreciate them sponsoring us. Thank you very much again, Will. Appreciate your help.
No worries, Alec. We're getting through the can of worms, but we'll find the bottom soon.
Bye-bye.